Hello everyone, today I'm sharing with you a swap I put together for Darlene Craig. Darlene asked me quite some time ago whether we could do a swap, and so we did. We decided that we would swap a doily kind of cupcake book, and Darlene actually wanted mother and child for her book, for the subject of her book. And so I put a little cupcake, it's not cupcake, but it's that kind of style book together for her. And this, it's about to go in the mail, so this is what I've done for her, and I think it's turned out quite pretty. We have a satin ribbon that is holding it all together. I made little loops on each page and threaded the ribbon through and tied it in a bow. So that's the closure. Made out of ribbon, and then I've just put some pieces of lovely vintage laces and things tied there as well. The top is this lovely buckle. It was actually, well, I don't think it's a buckle, it was a belt I got in a thrift store, and it was made up of all these like round circles with these beautiful rhinestones on them. So I've used that on the front, and I've put just a little cushioned picture of a mother and daughter vintage in the center there. And then I have layers and layers of lace, as you can see, different types of laces just surrounding it. Let's have a look if there's anything there. Okay, so on the front here I've also put all this beading just hanging down the bottom. I thought it was just a pretty little touch. I have some longer pieces with pearls and sparkles on them in various places. I got a bit of rhinestone chain on that one, and that looks like it needs a bit more glue on that, so we'll do that before we send it. That's the kind of effect it's got, just with not too many dangles, but you know, enough to make it look soft and pretty. So that's the front of the doily book, and then inside our front cover, just making sure I'm under the camera there we go. So on this page here I just printed out a little poem for a mother's love, and then I've put this beautiful applique piece. I think that's a Trésors Deluxe piece. I tea-dyed it though, and I put that there with a bit of vintage lace across the top, a beautiful butterfly applique here. I put some vintage sequins down its body, and a flat back pearl as its head, a few little doodad flowers, and I've just to soften the pink that was in it, because it was a little bit too bright for what I wanted, I just put a bit of I think it's like a vintage gold glitter glue in the top, and that one moves a bit, but it is glued down to the lace. It's just that the lace moves a little bit, so that's okay. Lots of laces around the side there, and some ruffled lace in between. As you can see, there's quite a few different layers going on there. And then this page we have another picture of a vintage mother and child. I've gone around the picture with some daisy chain trim. I've put a little sequin in the center of each of the daisies, and then just a little bit of that vintage glitter glue as well. Maybe I'll just lift that up so you can actually see what I mean there. Okay, we have just some wedding appliques, some flowers, more trims and offcuts, some beautiful applique pieces here. I think Fiona sent me these particular ones. A lovely little, actually it's a flat back pearl, and I've just put chain, like what is it? Is it? Maybe not that one, maybe that one was given to me like that, but I did do it on maybe another one further up. Okay, I've had this made for a little while now for her. I was just working on other things as well, so I'm trying to remember it all. We have doilies, and we have a bit of fringing going on there as well, and lots of dangly pieces, some more Tresors laces in there. Okay, and our next page is more vintage, mothers and child, of course. We have some offcuts of beautiful Tresors laces on this one as well. Some of them have been tea dyed. On this particular piece here, I have, on each of the things, I've put some sequins. I have more doodad flowers. We have some more bit of daisy chain down here with some small flat back pearls. We have this lovely little trim going around here, and I think maybe it was either Christine or Crafty Irina gave me this particular trim. It was on a spool, and I know I got those spools from both of them, so I'm not quite sure which one it was, but I've just cut it up and then put alternating lovely, and these are vintage rhinestone pieces in there. You can kind of tell by the look of them, and some flat back pearls, so that's what I've done there. And then this, I've just cut up an earring I had and put pieces at the top there just to finish it off, and I think that's quite pretty. Some more wedding trims underneath, and lots of layers of different laces and trims as well. Some doily pieces. And there actually you can see, if I show you how I've bound, see the satin here? I have made little loops. There's a loop just there, and I made it out of some Chinese braid. There we go. That gives you a better look. And I sandwiched it between each of the pages and then threaded the satin ribbon through. I think it worked quite well. It just looks a bit prettier than the rings which I was initially going to use. And then the last page, we have another picture. Oh, actually, I think that is the little pearl with the, it's got some gold rhinestone trim around it. That's the one I made. The other one I think was gifted to me. Some more applique pieces, little bit of this, a lovely, what do they call that, dangle trim under there. That one there. I like to use a little bit of that in my books. It's just a nice little thing I like to do. Gold appliques from Irene, who is seriously scrapping. Some old laces there once again. And then on this side I have used the gold appliques as well, some Tresors laces, some beautiful tatting underneath there. I've just put a flower together. And this centerpiece is a jewel that Diana sent me quite some time ago. Thank you, Diana. And thought it looked really pretty there because the gold around there suited the gold that I put around this one over here. And I think it looks really pretty. And that's just a flower page. Some more Tresors trims down the bottom there. And that's the last page. And then the back is just a series of doilies in different formations, and then a flower applique on the back, and then under that I just put my information like that. So it's there, but it's tucked away, and there's the underside of the tie. Now what I actually did was I threaded the large ribbon through and tied it in a bow, and then I went back, and where you could see the ribbon like in a strip, then I tied all these little delicate laces to it, and so it's kind of like that, and I think it's really quite pretty. Just different types of laces, and I love the effect the pearls give down the bottom, and I really hope that Darlene likes it. And then we were making just a small gift for each other as well, and I've made her a vintage lady like this, and I think she's adorable. I've made her in some really pretty colours. I've got this, I think this lace here I got off a dress from the thrift store. This is just an old vintage pink lace, and it gives the effect of her dress. And then we have, what do we have? We have some lovely lace pieces under there. This gorgeous ruffled blue trim that I've carried on underneath. I've made like a little pink flower there, and then I've got all these lovely little embroidered flowers across the front. I had this, and I think it was one of those acetate butterflies, and I cut it up and formed her little fan, because in the picture she was holding a fan. So I made her a little fan, and then I've put that it's just like a little bit of wire with some beads on it to look like the bottom of the fan there. And then I've made her a little hat out of some flowers and things, and she's all padded, and we have some lovely little like rhinestone, the same vintage rhinestone and pearls in there. And then that's the back of her. Made that look nice and tidy. So that's the back, and that's the front, and she really is quite pretty, and it'll be sort of sad to see her go, but you know, she's really quite pretty, isn't she? Oh dear. I hope Darlene likes her, I really do, so I'll have to wrap her carefully and send her on her way. So I hope she likes the two gifts that I made her. I've put together her box, and these are the last things to go in into her box. Yeah, so I'll show you. You've seen these before. I made a whole pile of them a while ago, and I think I sent Louise some as well, and they're just some little baggies I put together to fill with a few goodies for her. So yeah, I won't go right through the box though, but if you watch Darlene's channel, and I will put a link to it in the description box below, because obviously this video won't go up until she receives her swap package. So thank you for joining me today, and I hope you like what I made for her, and I hope she likes what I made for her. And take care, everybody. Bye.